Hey guys, this is Matt Wenning at winningstrength.com, and we're today gonna shoot the ice baths. Now, I know that that's new for a lot of people, and people have been posting a ton of it. I've been doing this for 25 years. The trick with the ice bath, it really doesn't, in my personal opinion, revolve around GH spiking, which it does help. It doesn't revolve around muscle repair, which it does help. It reduces joint inflammation. And this is the biggest problem that we have in the fitness industry right now, is that everybody's focusing on being stronger or performing better. Well, it all comes back down to joint health. This means that with joint health, once your joint starts becoming an issue or a problem, or you start creating too much inflammation and mileage on your ankles, knees, hips, low back, shoulders, and elbows, it doesn't matter how much you're training the muscles, your body is going to shut down due to the pain, discomfort, and start changing your technique, causing more injuries in the chain. So for example, if my elbows hurt, I'm gonna start using too much shoulder to bench press. If my knees hurt, I might use my hips in an incorrect way. You get my point. So when you guys start talking about ice baths and you want to do them, that's great and that's amazing, and I do believe in them. The problem is use them for the right reason, which is joint inflammation. It's the same thing that we need to talk about with deloading. There is a reason that every 4 weeks you need to take something down in your training, which we provide on Patreon and Train Heroic. And that ensures that the ligaments, tendons, and cartilage are catching up to the muscle as much as possible. And that's the whole point of deloading. It has nothing to do with muscle. It has everything to do with joints, and it's the same thing with the ice bath. So we're gonna let this sit for a while. Now we're in Ohio in the early spring, so the water coming out of the faucet is still super cold. So let's take a look at where we're at. So right now, we're a little bit above 50 degrees. So this is the 50-degree mark. We're gonna let this ice chill this down for maybe about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna hop in this bad boy and we're gonna reduce our inflammation in our joints. We just got done squatting 650 yesterday, and that was the last rep, adding weight, and then today benched 500 for a triple with pauses. So this is gonna be amazing for the joints and help everything reduce inflammation. Now, a lot of people talk about the ice bath stalling the inflammation process and reducing growth. I personally have found the opposite in 25 years. The stunting of growth, in my opinion, is bullshit, and it's only usually seen in moderately trained athletes. So what I try to find is that when you're utilizing the ice cold bath, don't use it very often. So for instance, this is the first time in 3 or 4 months that I've used it. So it's gonna be a hell of a shock to my system because I'm not used to it. That's a good thing. If you utilize the same thing, just like law of accommodation, it's too much. And that means that the body creates almost a defense mechanism to it. So just like training with conjugate system, you need to have a conjugate thought process in your recovery means. So we'll use hot, we'll use cold, we'll use a mixture of hot and cold. We'll also use massage techniques. Acupuncture, chiropractic, and massage are all great entities for recovery. Ice bath is just one of those tools. It's not the best. In my opinion, the best to reduce inflammation at the joints. For a lot of you guys, the best tub to have is a stainless one like this that has a rotating motor. So as you can see, this is gonna swirl the water. Now, why that's important is that what I've noticed is when we've had just normal tubs that you get that are pretty inexpensive, which is okay, you'll actually heat up the water around you because there's no circulation. When this water circulates like this, you can't heat up the water in that small area around you. It just keeps flushing it away, making this even more potent. So now let's get in so I can look like a fucking 6-year-old boy for about 6 hours and get all this inflammation off of my joints after a heavy cycle of training. Is we're making this video kind of short and good for you guys, is I'll do this 3 cycles. Now, in my personal opinion, this is at 42 degrees. This is too cold. And what we did is we just kind of calculated. I didn't know how cold the water would be coming outside of the faucet. It was already 50 degrees outside the faucet. So that little bit of ice took it down to 40, which in my opinion is a little too far. So we're doing minute cycles. So if it's too extreme, don't be a badass to try to stay in it too long. Try to just get in there and get that thing cold. Like to the touch, my arm feels like it's 55 degrees. So 1 minute, minute on, minute off at this extremity is good. My personal opinion is if you can get it around 50 and you can hold it for 3 to 5 minutes, it's gonna penetrate probably a little better. So what I'm gonna do is wait a little bit, let this water kind of temperature come up just a little bit longer. I can take it a little bit longer, and then we'll do it a couple more cycles. So remember, the ice baths are for reducing inflammation at the joint. Quit worrying about muscle tissue, quit worrying about GH output. All that stuff's great, but in reality, you're trying to keep your joints healthy and reduce inflammation at the joint so you can stay training heavy and hard well into your 40s like me. Talk to you guys soon.